So this is the how to create templates in canva.com training, and I recommend you close all other windows while you're watching this if you're ready to dive in. And I'm going to be opening up my screens over here. Let's see, I'm going to share this screen with you, and we're going to be using more than Canva. I also recommend an app called Evernote, which I will share with you why in a minute. So let's get started. So you should be able to see my screen. I'm going to make this bigger over here, the Canvas screen. I'm going to close all of these really quick. Okay, so here's Canva. I already taught about, how to do your templates, how to get your brand kit going, your colors, your fonts. So that should already be in your Canva if you followed my other trainings. And so today I'm going to talk about social media. There's a lot of different templates on Canva, but we're going to go into social media. Now, the one that I do that's different than a Facebook post, you can see when you're looking closely here that there's social media and a Facebook. The reason I choose social media over Facebook, even if I'm using it for Facebook, is the 800 by 800 pixels or the square is good for Instagram, and it's also great for Facebook too, or LinkedIn or Twitter, wherever you're putting it. So we're going to click on social media first is the first step. So there is that. Now, what's really cool about Canva is you should already have over here uploaded, your uploads, which can be different images. I like to upload a bunch of my images that are ready. These are some of my other client images. But then if we come back here to templates, we're going to start here. So what I like to do is choose one that I know I like the look of overall, and it's going to be one you're going to come back to. It doesn't mean that you always have to use this template, but as I teach about following a pattern on social media, you want to pick one that you can use over and over. So let's say you wanted to choose this one, for example. Let's choose this one. So the first step would be, let's go get your colors over here. So when you click on whether it's the font group or this color down here, what you want to do is come up here, and on the left up here is the color. So you want to click on color. You can see I have a few brand colors. Some of these are mine, some are for my clients. So I'm going to use my purple lavender color brand color. Now, why is it so important? Just to reiterate why it's so important to have your brand colors and that they're always the same, is there's different tones of purple, and there's different, like if I chose this purple because I was just guessing, well then anytime somebody sees my purple, they're not even going to know it's me. It's about, again, branding yourself. That's why this is this title, brand. It's like, think of like the old school brand, the stamps like on a cattle, right? It's really simple. It's always the same. It never differs. So that's why you want that there. It's like a stamp, and you're stamping your stuff. So let's say there's my pink, my purple color down there, and I'm actually going to come over here and do a different one because I'm just like not digging that one. So I like things that have frames. Let's do this one instead. So let's say that one color is, that one is that color. Let's do that. You could do it like purple, and then the top color you could do white, or you could do black. I actually kind of like purple and black. And so you could keep it like that. Now, instead of putting a quote down here, which I'm going to keep this as a quote, you also want to come over to your folders where the logo was. So if I go to my logos, then I can put my logo or my watermark down at the bottom. So let's go do that, because you want to always have your logo or your watermark down on the bottom. Okay, so you can switch this around. This is called a grouping on Canva. So you can see over here, you can ungroup it. I like to ungroup it, so then I can separate them here. So let's go move that up. So let's just say that you actually only want this much of the image, or we can keep it this way. It just depends what you want to do. There's just a bazillion things to do, so I'm going to just try to keep it simple, but just know you can drag and drop it. You can group or ungroup the text. Let's go change the image next. I try to get the colors going and then get the image. The other thing you could do is, let's say you didn't want this down here, you could always grab, you can delete that one, and if you have options, and then you can also, if you have just a tiny little watermark, the point is that you want to keep your brand at all times on here. So let's say you did that, like even though, yeah, you can barely read the letters, it's not just about that. It's about making sure that your brand is on everything when you're putting it out there, because that's how people find you. Because if you're creating content that people are sharing, you need to make sure that they can see your brand, your image again, okay? So, and I actually like that this would be white up here rather than, or I could do my other color. You can see that's my other purple color, but you can just change that up to your colors. Okay, now let's go to the image. So what I like to do is usually upload like my professional images here, or even your iPhone. You could go here, you can go grab an image from your downloads. Let's go grab let's go grab this one because it's there. So let's say I wanted to take my handstand picture, and then it's uploading here. I can grab this one, or I can grab the other one, and I'll show you some options with this. So let's go put it there. Now it just automatically put it in there. But I'm finding this isn't looking great. Like, I don't like the look of this awesomeness. So then you can change this up. But I'm gonna take away all that. I'm just gonna make this like an image one. So you could put something like this down here. You can make it smaller. I'm gonna delete that one, and then I'm gonna stretch this down. So it's gonna be more like this, okay? But then I'm gonna also, I feel like it needs to be centered more, so we'll figure that out. So you can also change the background. So let's say you just wanted that white and you wanted to keep that really simple, which I think is gonna look a lot better. And then this down here could be your brand color. Do you see how you can switch things up? Like, it's pretty awesome how you can just make things your own. Or you could delete that part, take the image down here, which is what I think I'm going to do, is keep it simple. I just learned in life that and it's a marketing thing, that there's a thing with white space. And so now it's got this frame around it, which makes it look kind of like a Polaroid picture. And then I'm going to come back to my logos, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to go grab the white inspired mommy boss. I'm going to put that. No, it's wanting to take the whole image. Never mind. So sometimes this happens with different ones that you're using. So let's delete this one and go grab this one. And then there you have a branded image. So you can see now I've got like a branded thing. Now let's say you wanted to put some fonts on it though. So that's the part I was talking about. Like, let's say you wanted to put a quote over top of it. Well, what you can do if you want to add a quote to that, let's say you're just happy with this though, and you're going to have a branded image, and then you can duplicate it. Here's your copy page. But let's say you wanted something that was more of a quote style. What you could do is you could add an element, and you could put a square over top. The reason I'm going to do a square over top is I'm going to do it like in the corner up here. Okay? And I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to drag this. It's not going to look great there because of whatever thing. So you can either drag this guy over. You can do it like this. And then you could add another square. Like, so then it's like kind of an image. I've done this before where I've done something like this. Or you can even make it bigger. I'm just giving you some options because I'm showing you like how these tools work on here. So let's make this whole big image. And then this could be like a new, whatever the word is called, thing for you. Now, what about if it's in front? This is a thing called position, and you're going to send that image backwards. Do you see that? So now this image is backwards. I have the logo down here, and let's go change this color to either one of my brand colors, or I could change it to a black color. I kind of like my brand color. Now I'm going to change the location of this though, because it doesn't fit there. So you can put it, you can delete it and then go add the other logo. Like, let's go add this one, because this one's now going to fit on there nicely because it's this color. Makes sense? Kind of, because the purple's there. So you can do it down there, or you can just do it down at the bottom, wherever you want to put it. Let's just put it there for now. Or, you know, there's just always a bazillion options. So let's just solidify this. Now, if you wanted to make it a little more transparent, let's say you wanted this image behind there. Do you see how this is going behind there? let's say you wanted something like that, which I like that the best. Then this is on top. It's a little transparent. You've got your logo. Now you can add text. So this is one of those things where it's really good to do a quote. So how I do this is this is your template. Let's keep that as your template, and we're going to do a quote over here. Now, again, this is back to our other lessons. If you're watching it, if you're just tuning in, that's okay. But you want to go grab your brand fonts. So one of my brand fonts is Quicksand. Now, what kind of quotes? You can make your own quote, or what I like to do too is you can come over here to Pinterest, and I have whole boards created with quotes. So I'm going to go to my Pinterest. Let's go to my boards, and then I like to save these. Let's go to boards. Wait, this is not my normal one. Let's go sign out. Let's go sign out. And then let's go sign back in with Facebook. Because what I do on my phone is if I have free time, I just love to look up inspirational quotes. And then I create boards. Now you're going to get to see my business one. Okay, so here's my business one. So if I go to boards, I'm going to go find some business quotes or cool quotes. Scrolling down. This is a longer training one, but this is because I'm teaching you how to do this, okay? So again, have Canva open in one window, have your, no, I don't want to install that. Have your Pinterest open in another, and I like to drag them beside each other so they're here. And I usually like to actually close down all of these other windows. So when I'm set aside this time to do this, it's right in front of me. So here's social media. We've got two templates. So here's a template and here's a template, okay? So this is a quote template because as you can see over here, just to remind you, I have a whole strategy for posting. So it's a video, a quote, and this. I do my quotes in a different program, but in the past, I can show you how to do it from Canva, and I also use these on Facebook and LinkedIn. So it's just good to have these all over here. So come to Pinterest, and what you're going to do is you're going to find a quote you like. So let's say you're doing, and your quotes should be in line with your brand, right? So I do business training, so these are business quotes because I do business coaching. So I've created a whole board of all these things, and it's just really important though that you do want to, if you're quoting somebody else, you're going to, of course, give them, this is a good one. You're going to give them credit. That's why it's called a quote. So focus on being productive instead of busy. Tim Ferriss said that. So what I would come over here is I would make this one and it would say focus on, and I'm going to actually draw this out on being productive rather than on being busy. And then I'd go like this. Let's just make sure that that's what he actually said. Focus on being productive instead of busy. So I'm going to go instead of busy. Okay, and then one thing I like to do that I had seen a thing do was actually taking the quote and separating the quote. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then you can say Tim Ferriss. Do you see how that is? So you can either keep the quote there or you can keep it there. So, see, it's still my brand, but you can use other people's quotes. Now, I like to line this up where this is up here is where you're going to do all your font stuff, the color, bold, italic, center it. So I kind of like it being, I like it right centered actually. So I'm going to make it bigger and then I'm going to change the font size. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. And then I'm going to change the font color to white because I think that looks better. So do you see how I did that? And if you wanted Tim Ferriss to be smaller, then you could create a different font right there. I like it smaller because, you know, you want to give the person credit, but you really want it to be about your brand, not them. So it's making sure you're crediting people, give credit where credit is due. You've got your brand on here. And one other little thing I do like to add, if your logo does not have the .com in it, mine usually does, is you want to add a .com with some text. So see, I'm going to add the .com over here. So we're going to put this over there. And I'm going to drag it and I'm going to attach these two together. It's a little tricky, but it's doable. The reason being, some people don't have websites and If I can line this up, that would be great. I'm showing you all these little tools. You know, as a designer, I work in Adobe programs, but I'm teaching and have mastered these tools to help people who are not designers. So you can see I group that. Now I can adjust that here. I can also put it on top of there if I wanted, but I'm going to keep it over there. And then you can actually grab the purple and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now you've got two templates. I did one like this. I did one like this. Now let me share with you before we go how easy it is to duplicate it. So now that you've got one that's great for quotes, you can go like this. You can duplicate it. You just press copy page. Now all you do when you, let's say you were going to go log into Canva and you're going to create 7 images for the week. So you'd come in here, you go to your uploads, go grab a different image. I'm going to grab one of mine. And you don't, it doesn't have to just be a picture of yourself. Like I like to put, you know, pretty pictures like that. But you can see now it's all branded. And then you could, you can also grab this. You can like scoot it this way a little bit if you want to see more of the clouds. You just want to play with it here in Canva, you know, is, you know, figuring out what works for you. And the reason I like to keep this consistent though of like where the purple lies and everything is when people see it on a screen, like on your patterns that you're creating on Instagram, when they see it all visually, you want it all to line up perfectly. So that's why it's really good to come over here and to actually create these templates. So if you were going to do that, then again, you can either create your own quote, like you're like, just do it. Well, that'd be Nike, right? So come again over here though to your Pinterest board. And then this is why it's good to do it all in once. This is called, you know, blocking. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. That's a great quote by Mark Twain. So again, now we come over here and we can say, whoopsie, you can say continuous improvement. Improvement is better than delayed, let's say perfection or something. Yeah, I remember. Amazing. And then you can adjust this, like if you want the, you know, the text to be a little bit different, you can always press enter, go like this, but I'm not digging that. Or you can make it smaller. And then just remember though that you need to come in and change who said it. So that's also an important thing, is to make sure you double check your work. And then this one was Mark Twain. Okay, so I'm going to scoop this down. You drag and drop things. You want to make sure it's on the arrows. And now you've got, you know, these quotes that you can start to do. They're branded to your brand. They're your images. Like I love using my own photos. They don't have to just be photos of yourself. Like I said, you can put images from around. Again, let's duplicate. Let's copy it one more time. 3rd time's a charm. Let's go grab this image when I was in New York. Super fun. And let's go grab another quote. Go to your Pinterest board and say, you did not wake up today to be mediocre. That one doesn't have a quote. So if there's no quote, or you could say unknown, whatever way you want. If it's unknown, it's unknown. So this one I like, go the extra mile, it's never crowded. So there's nobody quoting it, so it's just a saying. So you can just put it on there. You can say, go the extra mile, it's never, and then I'm going to put that. And I would probably just, sometimes, you know, I like to play with where the words go, and just, you know, maybe extra mile. That's nice. And then you can just delete that element because it's not on there. So that's a pretty cool one. And then this is stretched quite a bit though. So you can, you know, edit your pictures depending on, you know, where you want them stretched to. If it's transparent in the background though, just remember that, they're not going to be able to see, they're going to see that you're transparent. But let's say I wanted this whole image in there. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll come and make this not transparent anymore, and I'll do it like that, which is okay. You know, it's not 100% the same, or make it like a tiny bit transparent, where you can barely see that edge there, or you can even take it like that, just because I think it looks better to have this whole thing. So the point is that you go in here, you play, you can create these templates, play around, Get your logo on there. Make sure it's always the same fonts, always the same colors. Now, let's say you wanted to download all of these, but you want access to them on your phone. You can do that a few ways. I like to use Evernote. So you're going to press download, and you can say all pages. It's going to create a zip file because each ping is separated and they're larger files. So what I like to do is I like to open up evernote.com, and this is connected to the app on my phone. This is an Evernote app. I go to log in. Let's go to login. And again, I know this is a longer training, but this is like how, first of all, once you're doing it, you're not talking through it all. I can do it a lot faster if I'm not talking through it all. I just go in there and I edit it. I don't overthink things. So you can go new note, and then you can say week of February 24th, social media images. There's different things you can put in here. The zip files down here, when it downloaded, it put it down here in my downloads. So all I do is I go to this new note in Evernote, and I open it up and I put it into Evernote. So now these images are going to sync to my phone, meaning when I open my phone app, let me stop the share for a second and show you. Let's see, let me open up my Evernote app. So you can see it was on there. So I have an Evernote on here on my phone. That's what it looks like, okay? So now when I open up Evernote, because Instagram, social media, I mean, Facebook and LinkedIn and all that, you can just download those images and schedule them in. But if you want to do it from Instagram, because Instagram is a hugely growing thing, you'll want to make sure you can access it from your phone. That's why I'm teaching to access it from your phone. Also, even if you do a lot of social media work on the go during the week and you want to do it live, you can use these images and prepare them for the week. So I'm going to my notes, and you can see it says week of February 24th, social media images. It's right there, okay? It says tap to download, so I'm tapping it. It's syncing. And now it says preview content. So I press preview content, and you can see as I swipe, all these images are now on my phone. So if I want to save these and then put them onto Instagram, I can do that. So all I do is there's a down arrow on Evernote, and I click on that, and it says Save Image. So I'm pressing that, Save Image, and now this image is being saved to my phone. So now if I want to go over to Facebook right now or Instagram, I would come here and I would say, it's right here in the middle of all my other images, and I press here and I say, I love this quote. How about you? And you guys are going to see this because I'm going to show it to you on my screen. And then I can say something like, how can you apply it in business? This is when you like talk about your image, and you may be thinking, if you're feeling like, why would I do all this work? Like, why would I do all this? Well, because this is your brand. So if you're taking this time once a week, it really doesn't take long. Once a week, if you did 7 of these images, and I teach a whole pattern about Instagram marketing, you can put it all together. So now when I share with you my screen, and we come over here to Facebook, okay, I'm getting a bazillion messages. Let's close these. Let's go to my profile. You can see that I posted this, and there it is. So it went from social media there, I put it into Evernote, and now it's on Facebook. Now I did that from my phone though. So you can see it's really, really cool how this works. And it's just one of those things where I just follow the same flow over and over again. So for my Money Magnet Lady bosses who are following this, make sure to come post in the group what you learned, post in the comments in the back office, okay? So I'm gonna stop the recording there and let me know what you think.